then the basic get into where you're going cutting will be done with the scissors. Well, to a certain extent. All right, so you'll notice that the scalpel body does not have a blade on it. In order to put the blade on it, first thing you need to notice that there's a groove down the side of the head. And then there's this diagonal right here. When you're putting the scalpel body into the blade, you'll notice that there's this hole. That blade, there's a hole. That blade slips into the groove on the side. And you'll notice there's that also corresponding diagonal here to this one. You need to make sure that they're lined up. So you slip the head into the hole, like so, and it should just click into place. You should have those two diagonals lined up with each other. If you don't, then you need to get an entirely new head and body and try again. All right. So we're going to dissect the oral cavity, which will actually probably be the most disturbing part for you. We'll possibly do the throat. We're definitely going to do the abdominal cavity and the thoracic cavity. So chest, belly, mouth. First thing I'm going to show you is the oral cavity, then you're going to dissect your own oral cavity, and then, well, your pig's oral cavity, because that's weird, and a little bloody. And then, once you're done with the oral cavity, we'll do the abdominal cavity. I'll call you over for the abdominal cavity, then I'll call you over for the thoracic cavity, and if we have time, we'll do the throat, and I'll show you the features of the reproductive system. At which point I will give you my 2 reproductive system PSAs for humans, and then we'll go on. All right, so in order to dissect the oral cavity, for those of you who don't know what a PSA is, it's a public service announcement. All right, so in order to dissect the oral cavity, you actually need to cut along the sides, each side of the mouth, to right below the eye. So on one side and along the other side. All right. From there, you'll actually now, the pig has teeth. They're located along here on both top and bottom. So be careful, don't poke yourself with a tooth. One finger goes by the snout, the other finger goes by the tongue, and then you pull and crack it off. All right, from there, you can start to open it. This is where I recommend the scissors. So you have to actually get the jawbone open. All right, so as it starts to open, you'll start to see the features of the oral cavity. This, by the way, takes a lot of strength, so be prepared. All right, so features of the oral cavity include hard palate. You can tell it's the hard palate because it's ridged and it's hard. Soft palate is directly behind the hard palate. The hard palate has bone beneath it. The soft palate does not. So basically, if you stick your tongue at the roof of your mouth, hard palate, back of your mouth, soft palate. Don't go too far back, you'll choke on your tongue. We'll have to do CPR. All right, we have tongue. Now, on the other side of the tongue, you have teeth here and you have teeth here. If you lift up the tongue, on this side you can see some salivary glands beneath the tongue. On both sides, salivary glands beneath the tongue. There are also some in the lower jaw region, which I'll show you if we get to we should get to that. All right, so hard palate, soft palate, tongue. This structure that you see here is the epiglottis. This is the structure that actually covers the airway into the airway when swallowing to keep food from going into your trachea. Now, if you lift up, I need to go further. All right. So, all right, so if you look in the soft palate, there's a hole-like structure directly above the epiglottis. You see this like little hole right here? Mm-hmm. All right, who wants to hold up my epiglottis? I got it, it's okay. All right, so do you see this hole-like structure right here? That's the nasopharynx. Now the whole thing is the oral pharynx, like the back of the throat is the oral pharynx. The nasopharynx allows air to go from the nares, the nose, through the sinuses, and then into the trachea, through the epiglottis, and into the glottis. I'll show you all in a second, so don't have to try to run. All right, do you see this like little lip-like structure here? That's the glottis.
What's the difference between epiglottis and glottis?
I was going to explain that in just a second. That's an awesome question. I'm so glad you asked. All right, so that's the glottis.
Gotcha.
So do you see that little lip-like structure at the bottom of the glottis, epiglottis? This right here? That's a glottis. Now the epiglottis is the flap that covers the glottis. The glottis is actually the muscle that contracts to open and close to allow air in. The epiglottis is a little flap of epidermal tissue, or dermal tissue that flips over it. So it's the muscle and then the epiglottis. So when you swallow, the muscle closes, the epiglottis lays down, and then food goes over it. And if you lift it up even further and look behind there, past the nasopharynx, that little tube that leads back, that's the esophageal opening. It's the opening to the esophagus, where food goes. All right, so if you lift it up even further, there's a tube that leads back. Doesn't actually look like a tube, just looks like cavity. That's the esophageal opening. All right, back there. Esophageal opening. All right, so the things you need to look for are the hard palate, soft palate, epiglottis, glottis, nasopharynx, esophageal opening, tongue, salivary glands, teeth. Hard palate, soft palate, epiglottis, glottis, nasopharynx, esophageal opening, tongue, salivary glands.